So the Washington Commanders are fresh off of their bye week. 4 games left. In the thick of the NFC wildcard race, at this point, hold down the 7th seed, has an opportunity to get to the 6th seed as early as next Sunday, depending on Green Bay and the Seahawks, and obviously if we take care of business versus the New Orleans Saints. The Washington Commanders sit in a very favorable position right now to make the postseason. They just got some more great news as they're getting Lattimore back, and he is going to make his debut versus his former team. Also, some not so great news for the New Orleans Saints, but some good news for the Washington Commanders. Derek Carr is injured and going to be out for the rest of the season. Let's talk about it. YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We on the Washington Commanders video. And in today's video, I'm coming on here with a video where we're going to be talking about a huge injury report that is going to impact the game on Sunday between the Washington Commanders and the New Orleans Saints. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Before we make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos like this to the channel. We're on the road to 8,000 subscribers, so it'd be greatly appreciated if you help me reach that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Let's get straight to it. How y'all doing? Are y'all doing okay? Leave it down below in the comment section. Mental health check. How are we doing out there? December 9th, 2024. Your boy Juan Gotti, I'm okay. I'm taking it day by day. Every day isn't perfect. Every day isn't the best. But, that's the thing about it. You continue to work through it, and every day is a new day. So, hope you're doing all right out there. I hope you're feeling refreshed and ready for a nice week, work week, and we can see our boys play on Sunday. Speaking of the fellas and the team, the Washington Commanders have a very, very favorable 4 games coming up. And it starts in New Orleans on Sunday for a matchup with a very, very, very bad and banged up New Orleans Saints team. So going into this game prior to yesterday's game, the Washington Commanders were going to be getting Lattimore back, and they were going to be facing a New Orleans Saints team that was going to be down their best player offensively, not named Alvin Kamara, and Taysom Hill. As Taysom Hill, the week prior to yesterday's game, got injured and was out for the rest of the season. Then yesterday took an even bigger blow as they have lost their starting quarterback, Derek Carr, for the remainder of the season. I believe he fractured his forearm or broke his forearm, one or the other, and he is going to be out for the remainder of the season. The New Orleans Saints is a team that has not necessarily been in a winning state. I remember early on in the season, they started off very, very hot, and some people were like, hey, man, watch out for the Saints. They may actually do something this year. That was short-lived as they ended up not being anything, and they're sitting at 5-8. Obviously, they still have a very, very good running back in Alvin Kamara. He's a guy that you have to worry about as a potential threat come Sunday. Now, they did escape with a victory versus the Saints or versus the Giants on Sunday, but it's the New York Giants. I'm trying to see who their backup was that ended up coming in because Jake Hayner is who we will most likely be facing on Sunday. But really, this is going to be the Alvin Kamara show because I highly doubt they trust Jake Hayner to come in there and throw the ball around. I don't know. I think he came into the game maybe with in the fourth quarter, so that's probably why he doesn't have a registered pass. But given the fact that he is a backup quarterback, he's 25 years old, and I believe he's only been with the New Orleans Saints. 6'1". He's not a threat. And this is the perfect game for the Washington Commanders because we need to go ahead and take care of business, and we need to not make it close. This does not need to be a contest. We need to get them out the way early, how we did Tennessee the week prior to the bye week. It's interesting. They may go Spencer Rattler, though. I would go Spencer Rattler if I was the New Orleans Saints. You have nothing to lose. You may want to see what he has to offer. He did play early on in the season, and he really wasn't the best showing. But I'd rather go with him than Jake Haener if I was the Saints, and that may be what they do. But Jake Haener is the guy that they threw out there on Sunday. So either way, if it's Spencer Rattler, if it's Jake Haener, whoever it is out there, we need to take advantage of it, because if you are serious about making the playoffs, in my opinion, I know it's not college, but in my opinion, the games like this, style points matter for me. If we are serious about making the playoffs this year and actually making some noise in the NFC playoff picture and potential Super Bowl, you need to beat up on a bruised up Saints team. It'd be different if they had Derek Carr, if they had Taysom Hill, Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave. Like if they were healthy and they had their squad, this could potentially be a game. But they're banged up. They're missing most of their star players. I don't even know if Chris Olave is back. I don't even know. I don't think so. But because he sustained a very serious concussion, so I don't even know if he is back or if anything. Um, yeah, it doesn't seem like he's back dealing with an injury. So last time he played was November 3rd, which was over a month ago versus the Carolina Panthers. So I don't even think he's gonna be back. So they're missing their best receiver. They're missing their best playmaker outside of Alvin Kamara and Taysom Hill. They're missing their starting quarterback. This is the team that's just looking to get the season over with, and we can't play with our food, especially again if we want to make the postseason and make some noise out of this postseason. We need to blow them out. Again, I know style points don't matter in the NFL, but in this game and games like this, in my opinion, style matter, right? Like what we did to Tennessee, we need to replicate that. And then you take that momentum into the game versus the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's going to be a huge one, because I know that the Eagles are going to win a division. That's no question. They're gonna wrap the division up. They probably gonna wrap it up this Sunday versus the Steelers if they win, which I believe they will. But at this point, you still owe them one. There's still a division rival. You still want to beat them, right? You're not necessarily playing for the division, but you're playing for a wild card seeding. They already got the 2 seed locked up. I don't think they're going to get to the 1 seed. They have a very good chance to if they find a way to beat us and win out, but I think we're going to beat them, and I don't think the Lions are going to lose any more games this season. So they're going to be the 2 seed, but you're playing for the 7 for 6 seed, and I already broke down, go to my video earlier, I already broke down how Washington is in a very, very favorable spot. All they have to do to get in the playoffs, because at the end of the day, all I'm worried about is getting to the playoffs. But at the same time, I do want to get it as high as possible. 5th seed's out of question. I told y'all in that video earlier, I'm done questioning the Vikings. I'm done sleeping on the Vikings. They're legit. Okay, Sam Darnold 5 passing touchdowns yesterday. Jordan Addison 3 touchdowns. And Justin Jefferson another 2. I'm not sleeping on them no more. Their defense is obviously good. They're a real threat. So 5th seed's locked up. It's 6 or 7, because Green Bay, like I said, could lose this Sunday to the Seahawks. Even if they don't lose this Sunday, they have some losable games left on the schedule, in my opinion. And we have a very favorable schedule to win out. The Saints should be a very easy win. The Eagles is going to be the hardest game we got left on the schedule, but it's a division rival, and I think they're going to get a better version than they got the first time. We're at home. And I think we're going to win that game. And then after that, you got the Falcons team, who a month ago you looked at this game and like, oh, this is going to be a dogfight. And it very well still could be, because this Kirk Cousins coming back to D.C. for the second time since being a non-Washington Redskin football team commander. So it could be, but they're derailing at the worst time possible. Kirk Cousins is playing his worst football at this time possible. 0 touchdowns and 8 picks over the last, 4 games or so, or last couple games. He has not been really good. So, you got to continue to make them look bad, right? That Falcons team is not good at this point. And then the Dallas team, you owe them one, right? They're not a good football team, but they beat you, and you owe them one badly. So you got a very, very good shot at ending this season 4-0, which means we'll put you at 12-5. And if you get to 12-5, you can make a very legitimate case that you can get that 6 seed, because I'm not ducking Philadelphia at all in the playoffs. I want them, right? But I would much rather have an opportunity at Seattle first, because it's a revenge tour, right? Seattle, they always find a way to beat us in the playoffs. And it's a revenge tour for us. We owe them one in the playoffs, right? You know, obviously I believe back in the day when I was like 2-3 years old, it was 05. I think did they beat us in 05? I don't know. I think Tampa Bay. I don't know. I think they did because I think we beat Tampa Bay. Correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. Again, I was 2, 3 years old, so don't be like, oh, Juan, you don't know what I'm talking about. I was a baby, but I want to say we beat Tampa Bay, and then they beat us, and obviously in 2012, they beat us. And was it 2015 too? No, 2015 was Green Bay. They beat us in the wild card round. But yeah, they always beat us in the playoffs, man. So we owe them one. And that's honestly not saying Seattle's not a good team because they just did a very good job beating up on a division rival in the Arizona Cardinals. But I would much rather take my chances with Seattle than I would Philly right off the rip in the wild card round. We get past Seattle if possible. If we even get there to the 6th seed, that gives us confidence going into the link, and I think we could beat them. I think we can. And don't be surprised if you look up and the Washington Commanders make the playoffs and they looking up at the NFC Championship. Now, I don't expect us to go to the Super Bowl because I think if we get to the NFC Championship, whether it's whoever, I don't think we're gonna win unless it's like somehow we the 7th seed and like we beat Philly in the wild card round, and then I don't know, let's say we somehow match up with Green Bay or Seattle in the NFC Championship. That's the only two teams where like I'd be like, okay, maybe we could beat, and I think we could beat Minnesota, but I don't know. I feel like they're too high powered of an offense as far as their skill position goes. But needless to say, not named Philly, not named Philadelphia, not named Detroit. I think we could beat, but not in the NFC Championship. I think we're just not there yet. I think at some point our skill deficiencies are going to show compared to a team like Detroit that's pretty much good everywhere. I know they got a bunch of injuries, but I feel like that experience of playing in the NFC Championship before last season and just the overall talent gap is going to be put on show if Washington makes a run in the playoffs at some point. But hey, we first got to get there. That's first things first. Because I think if we get there, though, we can make some noise. And I'm satisfied with the divisional round. Who would have thought Washington would have made it to the divisional round? Who would have thought we made it to the wild card round? Although I think we can take some damage, so I wouldn't necessarily be like completely satisfied with the wild card appearance. But who would have thought that 6 months ago when Washington was in training camp? Nobody would have thought that. So needless to say, as long as Washington get into the dance, I think we can do some damage, and it will be a really, really fun scene to see us get into the playoffs. But we got to take care of our business first, and it starts with New Orleans, and we have a very, very, very favorable schedule coming up. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hail to the Washington Commanders, turn on post notifications. We're on the road to 8,000 subscribers. We're so close to 8K. So please help me get there as soon as possible. Share out this channel, share out this page, share out this video to anybody that's an NFL or Washington Commanders fan and have them subscribe to the channel. We're so close. See y'all later. I'm out. Peace.